People often ask if I plan to complete the Omega at a Glance series, and the answer is yes, but I've gotten terribly distracted by both my extremely great career and Pokemon Pocket. Recently someone commented it would be very topical to cover Elena in Omega, seeing as she's coming to SF6 in just a couple weeks, and I must admit they had a good point. That being said, from what we've seen, this Elena is nothing like that one. Omega Elena actually fixes a number of the problems people have with her Ultra version, including a lot of her general weirdness. She still moves in her idle pose, but a lot of her hurtbox issues have been addressed. For example, she's taller when crouching and wider when standing. Additionally, her jump has been normalized. It's very fast compared to her extremely floaty jump from Ultra. Her light normals aren't too different, though her combos from them have been changed quite a bit since her special moves have been overhauled. Notably, her Crouch Light Punch has much more pushback now. You can only get 3 of them, when in Ultra you can reliably get 4. Combos from Crouch Light Kick were 1 frame in Ultra, but with Omega's input leniency it's very easy to hit your links. Stand Light Kick is your farthest range cancel, slightly farther than Low Medium Punch. Stand Medium Punch is still a fine anti-air, with lots of active frames and a shrunken hurtbox. Low Medium Punch is still one of your main cancels. And it actually has more frame advantage on hit, which enables some strange strings. Stand Medium Kick is +5, and Elena's damage optimal link is Medium Kick to Low Medium Punch. But the input leniency in Omega is bugged for this move, and if you press it early, your normal actually comes out 1 frame late. This means you have to manually time the link rather than pressing it early, so it really is 1 frame still. But she has a cancel that does more damage than this and has better routes, which I'll show off more later. Crouch Medium Kick no longer special cancels. It's ridiculous Elena ever had that in Ultra. The button isn't that great of a poke, and it has no conversion, so I don't think much of it. Elena's heavy normals have been overhauled quite a bit. Stand Heavy Punch no longer cancels, but is now a 2-hit launch. The second hit whiffs on crouching opponents, which also makes it slightly unsafe on block. You can juggle into it, and it's quite strange in juggles. Getting the second hit only maintains the existing juggle state, while getting both hits only adds 1 JP, which leads to some pretty neat looking combos. Her hard punch target combo is still there, though it looks different. But medium DP seems quite reliable as a juggle route, and it's much stronger. The reason it looks different is her new standing hard kick. It's much faster than her old one, but it's very strange to use. It's not amazing in neutral because it's duckable. It does anti-air due to its high hitbox, but it doesn't shrink her hurtbox at all, which means it's very easy to get counter hit out of it. And it doesn't cancel to specials or super or anything. Not even EX moves, I checked. Crouch Hard Punch is now 2 hits. The first hit cancels, and while it's weaker than her Stand Heavy Punch in Ultra, it's dramatically better due to its speed at a mere 6 frame startup, only 1 frame slower than Crouch Medium Punch. It's very slightly stronger in cancels. And the routes out of it are much better. The long active period of Crouch Heavy Punch combined with its tall hitbox means it's still serviceable as an anti-air. Crouch Hard Kick recovers a bit faster than in Ultra, and can still low profile. As for command normal, Slide is still your main answer to fireballs. The range is dramatically shorter than Ultra, and even when spaced optimally, it still seems to be punishable by the frames. The low profile frames are insane. It goes under fireballs quite early in the animation. It requires very little precision. Towards Heavy Kick is like her old Heavy Kick, but with much better airborne frames. It's like a hop kick basically, a bit slow but jumping over low medium kicks for example. Back Heavy Kick is still a low crush and grab crush. In Ultra it was +1 on hit, but now it's +4, which is an absolutely enormous buff. She has this as a 50-50 with her throw, and on any hit she can confirm a combo and knockdown. Oddly, it has juggle potential. but it's not her strongest ender. Neither overhead has any changes at all, however it's dramatically easier to link out of towards medium punch due to input leniency. Her medium kick TC has been buffed quite a lot. It's now 3 hits if you do it point blank. And the second hit works just like her crouch heavy punch, which gives you routes into her strongest enders. But it's extremely unreliable to get the second hit at all. Elena's push box doesn't allow her to easily get close enough for this hit, especially because of her moving neutral stance. It's wildly inconsistent. Due to the inconsistency of both this and her medium kick to crouch medium punch link, Elena's most reliable links sadly include a light normal. The most interesting part of Omega Elena is her special moves, and they've been wildly overhauled. The most similar one is probably her Link's Tail, though it has a new motion, DP motion then punch. All versions are more universally unsafe now, though you can still FADC it on block. The range feels a bit lower. Sometimes it just falls out in a place where I think it would have worked in Ultra, but it's hard to say. Unsurprisingly, the heavy version is no longer a hard knockdown. If you FADC the heavy one, you can naturally link all of her strongest stuff, but this isn't her optimal 2-bar route. The EX version has a new animation that makes it much more consistent than in Ultra. Just like Ultra, it only FADCs on the final hit. Unlike Ultra, it doesn't launch naturally. If you do FADC it, it's actually a free juggle state. It's 3 bars, but quite rewarding. Oddly, the light and medium versions won't juggle the super when they did in Ultra. Super routes are almost always added in Omega mode, so it's funny to see one removed. Scratch Wheel, her uppercut, is mostly similar, but has some big buffs. Notably, the heavy version has full invincibility and 3-frame startup, giving Elena a good meterless reversal. Like most reversals in Omega, the meterless ones cannot FADC on block. Having an invincible uppercut like this helps Elena's defense immensely, but also really helps her anti-air when she previously mostly used stand medium punch in Ultra. Going from a 40 damage reset to a 160 damage knockdown is an incredible feeling. The medium scratch wheel is also 3 frames. It's unthrowable but otherwise lacks invincibility. Notably, FADCing the medium version results in a free juggle state. Even without invincibility, the hitbox and hurtbox move up on the same frame, so you'll often trade if you anti-air with it. This gives Elena trade Ultra if you land it. The EX version of this move also has a new animation. I'm sure you guys are all thinking of Genocide Cutter. You can FADC the first 2 hits on block. Canceling the second hit allows you to react and only FADC on block while simply letting it connect on hit. But FADCing the first hit gives mildly better juggles than FADCing the second hit. Many EX uppercuts in Omega work this way. All versions of Rhino Horn are somewhat faster. You can cancel into them pretty easily, but you can't juggle out of them, even in the corner. The EX version is fantastic. It has excellent speed, range, and damage. It launches, allowing Elena to pick up a juggle into heavy, or situationally even EX scratch wheel. It's her optimal 1-bar route from what I can see. It still goes through fireballs too. The juggles work even if you juggle into it. Spin Scythe has been overhauled quite a lot. In Ultra, the medium version is actually the fastest, but in this game, the light combos from lights, the medium from mediums, and heavy from crouch hard punch and her TC. The light and medium versions don't have follow-ups, they simply always play out the same animation and their full damage. They're a bit weaker than some of our other enders, but they're very consistent thanks to their speed and range, and especially because they don't have any input overlap issues, which I'll talk about later. Also, the Oki's MS scenario they create is quite good. The heavy version does have a follow-up. The only reason you wouldn't do it is that it's more unsafe on block, but even if you don't do it, you're punishable. All meterless versions can F-ADC, which makes them safe on block or gives you a combo on hit. It's not our optimal 2-bar route though. The medium one notably seems to be our optimal super route. The heavy one would be stronger, but it scales as 2 actions, and supers are so strong that any scaling is catastrophic. Like Ultra, the EX version launches. Unlike Ultra, the launch is just as workable mid-screen as it is in the corner. The damage optimal meterless follow-up is medium DP, though you can use back heavy kick if you want. If you have another bar to spend, you can combo EX Rhino Horn. It's a more reliable 2-bar route than EX Rhino Horn to EX Scratch Wheel, but it's a bit weaker. Mallet Smash has been nerfed quite a lot compared to Ultra. All versions are now the same speed as the heavy version was in Ultra. And they're all minus on block but safe. The version only chooses the range, otherwise the different versions are functionally identical. It will hit sooner on tall characters and later on short ones. At worst it's +2 on hit, but even on a normal height character like Ryu, it's +4. It hits even later on crouchers, giving Elena even more plus frames. In Ultra, EX Mallet Smash was 15 frame startup, and generally unreactable. In this game it's 19 frames, but it won't usually hit on its first active frame, so realistically more like 22. This is night and day. While it's fast enough that it'll occasionally sneak through, it's within the realm of being a reactable overhead. Depending on which pair of buttons you press, it has 3 versions. The biggest one is light plus heavy. You do have to choose your range, since you will jump over opponents. On block, all versions are safe. On hit, you're +5. It's no longer fast enough to combo from mediums, but you can still cancel into it from Crouch Heavy Punch, which is an okay 1-bar route. I should mention now that like most Omega characters, Elena has various ways of hitting about 400 for 2 bars. Elena has one new special move called Giraffe Neck. The input is quarter circle forward punch. It's a slow overhead. The fastest meterless version is 27 frame startup, which is quite reactable. Stronger versions have a bit more damage and range, but are even slower. They're all -3 on block, and all knockdown on hit. All of them F-ADC on either hit. F-ADCing the second hit isn't terribly useful, since they're relatively safe and you don't get a new combo. F-ADC on the first hit theoretically gives you a combo from overhead. But you can't react to success versus failure by the F-ADC, and you can't combo into it or otherwise see if it's going to work, so it's just throwing 2 bars at a reactable overhead hoping it'll hit. The EX version is mildly faster at 25 frame startup, which is still too slow to combo from anything, and still much slower than our EX Mallet Smash, which is also an overhead. EX Mallet Smash is also safer on block and gives you a combo naturally, so this special move feels pretty useless. The best use case I can think of is that the second hit can be reaction cancelled to super, so it's a relatively safe on block overhead that you can just throw out and convert to big damage on hit. The main thing I think about this move is that it's very annoying to get on accident when going for Link's Tail's new motion. Elena's super seems to be identical, except for damage. It doesn't feel as powerful as many Omega supers, and it's very difficult to find a route with it that does more than about 500, when lots of Omega supers are doing 600 in a full combo. Notably, Elena has a new super. The motion is QCF Punch. The damage is much lower. Like her kick super, it's 4 frame startup. It has a cool suction effect, which actually makes it pretty easy to combo into, and it's fast enough that you can link into it. big gimmick with this super is that you can cancel it into either Ultra. If you get a grounded connect, it gives you a full Ultra 1. And it's a hard knockdown, giving you time for a full heal. This is huge, since the general lack of hard knockdowns makes Ultra 2 dramatically worse in Omega than it was in Ultra. It's still unsafe if you do it on a fully cornered opponent, since Elena will be point blank at -8, but it's fine anywhere else on the screen, and you can always cancel it early. You can juggle into it too, and that still gives you the full heal, but Ultra 1 won't work. This is quite a great super, but the input overlap for Elena is just insane. It's really difficult to cancel crouching attacks into Link's Tail's new motion since you've got both a QCF Punch special and a QCF Punch super to worry about, and crouching DP motions don't work in Omega. Because of this, I often found myself ignoring Link's Tail and using Spin Scythe instead. Or else using Elena's inferior standing buttons to go into Link's Tail. Overall, Omega Elena is quite an interesting take on the character. A lot of her really extreme design points from Ultra, both the positive ones like the 15-frame EX mallet smash, or the negative ones like her floaty jump or DP with no invincibility, are more normalized. I think she's worse overall, but she still has a very strong neutral and mix-up, and her options of using meter are still extremely good. Truth be told, I like this one less than Ultra, and I like both less than SF3 Elena. I hope SF6 Elena blows them all out of the water. Anyway, here are some B&Bs.